Hi travelers, Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot, and I'm coming to you with a mid-month May 2016 reading for the sign of Sagittarius. I know you Sagittarians are going through Saturn return. I have one young lady who contacts me out of the blue every once in a while to be like, man, it's so hard. But yeah, I know it's hard. I've been there, I've done it. So, just hang tight, try to stay true to yourself, true to the path that you want to walk, and you're just going to have to work on it. Nobody ever wants to do the work. I know, because I didn't want to do it, but it's hard, it's painful, it's long, it's confusing, but try to identify where it is you want to go and stick to that path. Now, we've had the first few months of 2016 have been absolutely ridiculous with in terms of planetary movements, things like that. We still have 4 planets in retrograde. That's Saturn, there's Pluto, there's Mars, there's Mercury, okay? Jupiter was in retrograde. It came station direct last week, either the 9th or the 10th. I'm not exactly sure. And then, check your chart to see where Jupiter falls in your chart, what house it falls in. And that should tell you what area that you can expect some kind of luck or changes or movement forward, okay? Like that. Check to see where Pluto falls in your house and where it has retrograded now, because wherever it's retrograded is where you're going to be dealing with some real deep personal psychological issues coming up. Mars, check to see where that lands in your house and see where it retrogrades, and that's going to tell you where you don't have a lot of energy or where you're really not going to be able to get a lot of effective things done, because Mars rules your ambition and your drive. He's the warrior planet, okay, your fighting spirit. Mercury, we know, is about communications. He is the communicator. He is in the sign of Taurus right now. We also had the new moon in Taurus. Taurus rules the bull markets and finances. So some of you, if you have any investments or you want to invest right now, maybe those investments haven't come in for you, or there's been some kind of delay, or it just hasn't been going well for you. But also, Taurus rules self-possessions, self-esteem, self-worth, the money that you make on your own, not the money that people give to you, but the money that you earn on your own. And Taurus is also ruled by Venus, and Venus is about the love, the income, the beauty, the women, and the money. Okay. And there is a juxtaposition. We have a full moon coming up. It's a 2-day full moon. Okay. Peep that. Crazy planetary energy. It first becomes full in the sign of Scorpio, okay? And Scorpio sits directly across the house from Taurus. So Taurus is about that house. The second house is about me. And Scorpio sits on the 8th house, which is really the house that rules the money that you have in a relationship. If you're married, if you're coupled up, it rules death, taxes, divorce, alimony, child support, um, inheritances, lottery. It's that money that you're going to share in a relationship with the person, okay? Now, the second day, the full moon, it's going to fall in Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules people, places, and things distance. It rules spirituality, religion, education, teachers, gurus, any of those things, foreigners. It could even speak to foreign travel, but it's always about something at a distance, okay? Now, because the full moon is going to fall the first day into Scorpio, full moons are already very emotional. This might be an uber emotional full moon that first day. And then when it goes into Sagittarius, it's a fire sign. So there could be lots of arguments coming up. A lot of either you directing anger at people or having a lot of anger yourself, or others directing their anger at you. Because Mercury is in retrograde and he is the communicator, I would suggest that if you don't have to have a conversation with anybody about anything, then please try to skip that weekend. If you absolutely have to have any type of negotiations or conferences or talks with someone, think before you speak, because you could end up saying something that you can't take back, and that's going to make it take a turn for the worse. Okay. Um, Also, it could be about, misunderstandings. Maybe you say something and somebody else misinterprets what you say. It could be lost emails. It could be delayed travel plans. It could be any number of things that can get your fire up, your ire up, and you're going to be mad about it. So try to hold your temper if you can, and, you know, watch your words. So again, this is for Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. And if this does, the messages don't apply, if it doesn't pick up for you, then go back and look at your moon and rising sign if you don't have Sag, moon, and rising. Does that make any sense? I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, this is general. If you want to know about your own particular situation, you do need to contact me for a personal reading. I pick up on your own personal energies regarding that. This is just general. So this could be what's coming up for some Sagittarian people out there. Khadijah, hang in there, girl. All right. 9 cards down. Okay. Oh. And I was just saying on one of the other videos, I feel like right after this full moon, things are going to take off. Ace of Wands, Sagittarius, Ace of Wands. And that comes in the summertime, and we are June 20th is the first day of summer. So what I see is that you Sagittarius have been kind of going through it. There's that card, that 10 of Wands. Now, typically, Wands are, yes, about work, your ambition, your desire, the way you want to get things done, what motivates you. But they also represent a spiritual journey. And for some of you, you're coming up near the end. But, you know, Saturn hasn't been in its return now. You got 2 years of that crap. So what this says is it's going to be a brand new start. Okay? You still going to have another year. So there's still more lessons to come. There's always more lessons to come in your spiritual evolution. Okay? Now, what I see is in the past, this literally could mean that the Hermit is about going in and doing some deep thought, some introspection. But you see, he has the light there. So he's really not alone. And what this tells me is that some of you feel very, very alone and perhaps very isolated. Or maybe that even some of you Sagittarius have isolated yourselves because you really need to get a handle on where you want to go, what path you want to walk. It surrounds and deals with really the foundations of everything. When you have a stable foundation, a stable base from which to operate, then there are many more options to you. Okay. I also see that some of you have perhaps walked away from those foundations, meaning in one sense you veered off the path. Okay. But this could also mean literally that some of you have had to walk away from a relationship, a home environment, something of that nature. It could have been due to 3 people in a situation. But what is happening at present is it's like you're getting a new energy. This is the Empress, and the Empress is technically the mother of the tarot. So maybe some of you out there could have children. I do have this house here, and these people that could be perhaps children. There's a child in this 4 in the window, stained window there. I don't know if you can see that, but or that you have some people who depend on you in that type of position, like a mother, giving advice, being nurturing, being kind, loving. But she's also about abundance. Okay. She is about abundance and good things coming in. So what this tells me is that in the past, for some of you, with the start of perhaps this Saturn retrograde, that you took a stop back, and now your fire's coming back with the Empress. Okay, there's signs of abundance coming in, and there is something that you were successful perhaps in figuring out one portion of your plan, how to bring in some abundance, but you're still struggling with that. It's difficult, and that's what Saturn does. And this is Saturn in Sagittarius. That's really what that card represents, okay? So I know a lot of you is going through the thick of it. And maybe what you need to do is just step back. And anytime you have any planet in retrograde, it is a time to, whatever word you could put re in front of, that's what you need to be doing. Okay. So it doesn't matter what the planet is. And the reason that you get retrogrades is because a retrograde is going to bring up either a past situation, it's going to bring up a person, or it's going to bring up a person from your past that brings back a past situation. Okay. And what it is the universe is saying, look, you need to get your shit straight on this. Okay. You need to really come back and with some concrete, actionable plans that are going to work and sustain you as you move forward. Because as I can see here in the future row, there's, if you can do this, there's a great, great victory coming for you. But now once you look at that horse's face, I don't know if you can see that clearly, but that horse is looking back at the guy being like, okay, well, look, this is all well and dandy, but don't get too big for your britches. So the reason I say that is because I have Mars in Capricorn. Now we know that Mars is all about, fighting spirit, but Capricorn is ruled by Sagittarius. Okay. And right now his ruler is sitting in your sign. So that means that Capricorn is all about the determination, the grit. I mean, they can work for long, long, long hours and never get tired. They can get knocked down the ladder 25 times, but they're going to climb it up. It's about the ambition that you have. And so there may be something coming through for you, some type of, and this is about building a new foundation. That's really what that card says. You have a foundation here, you're struggling with that foundation. So now you're being asked to build up a new foundation. And this may require you joining forces with someone else to do so. And through these other people, or whatever this new foundation is that's building upon it, you get a new offer coming in. Now, we say that typically tarot card readers read this as a new love coming in. In one regard, yes, that's true. But it's also about a new offer or a new opportunity coming in for a new emotional opportunity. Okay. But you see that horse there, he's pausing. That water represents the emotions. And right now he's standing on barren land. So you may not feel that you have anything to look forward to, but trust me, it's coming. And then all you're going to have to do is just have that horse step over into it. Okay. And you will perhaps have to walk away and leave something behind. Give it some thought before you do that. Okay. It goes from a 5 to a 4. And then we have this beautiful, beautiful Ace of Wands, a brand new beginning, a new spiritual journey, but a brand new fire in your belly to get something done. So it could just be saying that all of a sudden, with all the struggles you've been going through, do I see a Jupiter? I see a Jupiter in Libra. These are two Jupiter cards. This is Jupiter in Libra and Jupiter in Leo. And this is definitely luck coming back through how you consider how you're viewing your one-to-one relationships. Libra rules the 7th house, and the 7th house is about one-to-one relationships. It's not necessarily the marriage house. There are 3 marriage houses: the 5th house, the 7th house. Okay, and that's the one-to-one relationship you have, whether you're married or coupled up, living together, however that falls for you. And then the 8th house is about the actual relationship itself. The 7th house is about the appearance of it, the outward appearance of it, how it looks to other people from the outside. Okay, but it also rules open enemies. So it could literally mean that you're going to realize at some point that there's somebody that could be blocking you. A lot of times what happens is you'll find that somebody's blocking you from the outside. It could be an open enemy. It could be an enemy really that you don't even see. Maybe you don't see them because you're too busy struggling with whatever it is you're struggling with. So what I want to do is look at the 5 of Swords here. I want to see what this card is talking about. This is not a bad spread, Sagittarius. I know you want to hear some good news. For some of you, really have been going through some very, very tough times. I can remember what my Saturn return was like. Oh, God. If I wasn't afraid of dying, I would have probably, jumped off a cliff someplace. But I'm like, no, that's gonna hurt because I got that kind of luck where I jump off and I just break a leg. So then I'm all jacked up even more. So I mean, Venus, Virgo, there's Aquarius. Some of you may be having some of your nodal points touched because this is Leo and this is Aquarius, and they're on the axis against each other. Okay. Aquarius is cool, detached, a little bit more introspective. Leo is gregarious, gaudy, loud, fun. And then we have the nodal axis as they are now, where the eclipses are occurring in Virgo and Pisces. So this is really 2 Venus cards and 1 Mars card. I do feel that after Mercury comes out of retrograde, and it's going to station direct on the 22nd, it won't be coming out of its shadow phase until June 7th. I think you're going to be able to gain some clarity here on where you're supposed to be going or what you should be doing, or at least some sign from the universe of the right path. I can say technically that's a Wands card because he has a staff. Even she's kind of holding a wand kind of a thing there in her hand. And that's Venus. And Venus is asking you to get your priorities straight. That's what Venus is saying. See, look. We know that this card normally, now if this was a relationship issue, see, you walked away, it's been a real struggle for you, but you're making headway. So perhaps this surrounded, maybe it was a sexual issue. Maybe it was 3 people in a situation. We do have this here. She's pregnant. I don't know about that. Maybe you're the one who's pregnant. Maybe you're deciding that even though you're alone, you're going to go ahead and, become a parent anyway. If that's the case, know that you're going to have some help, somebody to come in and help build for you. This will be something new, really, on many levels. But this card is also about tact and sensitivity. And maybe what it's saying is that you're going to have to you're going to have to get in touch with what's going on inside. Okay? Because maybe your sensitivities are off right now. Okay? Superbia, which is a success, but it can also speak to someone being stubborn and haughty and proud. Remember I was talking about that horse looking like don't think you're too big for your britches. And then Fortuna. So this is some kind of positive event, even though it falls walking away from something. And maybe that's what you have to do. You have to walk away from something. I want to see what this 3 is trying to tell me. I do have 2 cards with 3 people in it. Okay. It's not reading like, maybe that's a situation you have to walk away from, but know that you're going to have some support. Okay. I just said that. The Lamika. This is the card of harmony. It is the card of a friendship or relationship that you can trust, someone that you can put your trust in. Okay. The Doctore. This is some person who can help, typically in a professional capacity, like an accountant or a doctor or a lawyer. But it is nevertheless, if there's someone who approaches you, or perhaps you have to get some advice from them, they may not be within one of those professional. It just is someone that you can trust who's going to give you some good advice and help you. And that person is going to be loyal and true to you. Okay, now this could be speaking to me of this Knight of Cups. Okay, and it could be telling me that there's going to be a new person after a time of being alone here and really struggling by yourself. Somebody's going to be coming in to help you move forward. Now, funny, the Falsità. Now, I'm not picking up that this person is means you any harm. I think perhaps what the card is saying is that you're not going to really know what their intentions are. And I also think it means you're not going to see that person coming because you're too busy focused on this and focused on that. Okay? But the person is coming in with not only perhaps some financial help or assistance, but in some way it's going to give you some type of security, because this is a safe and this is where we put those things that we value. Okay? And maybe what this card is saying before that is that this person is going to ask you to look at your values, because your values are kind of messed up in a sense. They're not in your best interest. But it has to do with the Dona Maritata. So again, this could be speaking that perhaps some of you may be single. You had to leave a relationship, a home, you broke up, and you found out now that you're pregnant. I don't see this as the same old person. I see this as a new person perhaps coming in some way, shape, or form. Maybe if you've been trying to have a baby, maybe you've gone to the doctor. Maybe you haven't heard any news about it yet because you've had a lot of false test results come in with this falsita. Okay, maybe that's been a drain on your account. But look, and I say this because these two cards together, even though this isn't following the spread, these two cards together could say that there's a pregnancy up on the horizon for you, or you're going to get that news. That if you've been waiting, like in vitro fertilization or something like that, or even perhaps maybe in adoption, that you're going to get the news that you want to hear, something positive. Well, what do you know? The baby fell out. Okay, but now I have two very, very negative cards on this beautiful Ace of Wands. And what this says is that it refers to this Saturn at Sagittarius. In other words, it says whatever this new thing is, even if it's a baby, and this is a new start, the new spiritual journey starts with this new thing or the birth of this baby coming in. But you still got some work to do because you're still kind of pinned down. And for some of you, you're going to think that this is the end. But really, it's not the end. I want to pull 3 tarot cards on this Vedevo. This could even be if it's a situation where you walked away and now you found out that you're pregnant. If this refers to the person that you walked away from, okay, I think it could be saying that due to circumstances, whatever those circumstances are, now is not the time for that person to return back. In a sense, it's sort of like an ending, or this person just can't right now. That's the Saturn coming in. It's not a no, it's just a not right now. Okay? Well, look at there. See? Outside circumstances and event, the Wheel of Fortune. The Temperance, this is also the Sagittarius card. And this is about, you know, if you were expecting or hoping that someone is going to come back, the person who's coming perhaps is not the person that you think it is. Nevertheless, they're going to be of great benefit to you. You're going to have to figure out how to reconcile that within yourself and do some healing. And then we have this King of Cups here. And I can't tell you that it won't be that after the circumstances and events change for this person that he's not going to return. Or if it'll be this new person that's coming in who's going to become the King of Cups. That's a really interesting spread, Sagittarius. Thank you so much. Anyway, that's all I have for you. Keep an eye on that full moon. And until then, namaste.